Fernandez deal was a really mad one because really many things happened behind the scenes. First point I wanted to clarify, the player has been crucial. Enzo Fernandez has been really important for this move because we know that in the first week of January when everything started between Chelsea and Benfica for Enzo Fernandez, the player was pushing and was pushing very hard, didn't go to train, so the player was really insisting for the move. But then in the final days of January, after that negotiation collapsed at the beginning of January and then it restarted in the final days of the window, what happened is that Enzo, in a very professional way, was like praying Manuel Rui Costa, Benfica president, to accept the proposal and to go to Chelsea. Enzo was really insisting. Enzo had this dream of the Premier League and Enzo wanted Chelsea move. So he was really insisting and it was crucial because Rui Costa, the president of Benfica, had no intention to accept until few minutes before the end of the transfer window. So Enzo was crucial. How the clubs reached an agreement. What happened at the beginning of January is that Chelsea made a bid for Enzo Fernandez of 85 million euros plus add-ons and players included. So with the possibility to include some players into the deal. Benfica said no, 120 or nothing. Big tension for 2 weeks. Benfica have no intention to negotiate again. In particular, the president, Manuel Rui Costa, was furious with Chelsea. He didn't want to accept any other kind of proposal. But Chelsea were still there. They were offered many possibilities for the midfield, players from different countries, from Spain, from Italy, so they were considering many possibilities, but then they were always answering, Enzo, 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 we will try again for Enzo. And they did it. With the proposal, the opening one was 100 million euros plus players, but Benfica again, no way, 120 or nothing. Chelsea offered 120 paid in installments, but for Benfica is not enough. How they reached the agreement on the deadline day? In a crazy way, after 20 hours negotiation, on Monday the deal is close, it's really close, but Benfica president Manuel Rui Costa meets with all the people of the board and he's still not convinced about accepting the deal. So during the night, Chelsea were expecting between Monday and Tuesday to have Enzo in London and to do the medical, but Benfica are not giving the green light. Enzo was desperate, Enzo was pushing, but what happens is that Chelsea try again, 20-hour negotiations from Tuesday morning to the end of the deadline day. And how they make it? With the payment in installments, 6 different installments for the 120 million euros deal, but big part of the fee will be paid up front, and this 40 million pounds paid immediately and the rest in installments. The contract of the player is a deal until June 2031. Very long contract for the financial fair play, but it was already agreed in January. So between Enzo and Chelsea there was never any problem. The real issue was Manuel Rui Costa, Benfica president. He wanted to keep the player at all costs. Chelsea were involved with all the people of the board. The president, Todd Boehly, and of course the owners, Vedad Dali, involved in the deal. The whole board, Paul Winstanley, Joe Shields, Lawrence Stewart, Paul Winstanley again, but also Christopher Wiebel, of course, the technical director. They were all together pushing for Enzo. Incredible work also by the owners because they were actively working on that one. And so it was a big fight with Benfica. The negotiation was mad. 1 minute optimism, 1 minute negative. The feeling were really different on Tuesday. At one point, 8 p.m. of the deadline day, the deal was collapsed. 100% collapsed. But Chelsea didn't give up. They decided to insist again and again to offer different terms, and at the end, Enzo was pushing. The medical was done and the deal was signed after midnight. So here we go. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. Guys, let me know your
Enzo Fernandez on deadline day. It brought their spending to more than £323 million for the whole window. Not everybody, though, got their dream move. Hakim Ziyech's transfer to PSG collapsed at the last minute, leaving the player furious. Jamie Weir's at Stamford Bridge for us this afternoon. Jamie, good afternoon to you. Chelsea officially confirmed the Fernandez deal was done this morning, so could he play in the live Friday night football against Fulham?
Well, there's absolutely no reason he couldn't, Nick. He is registered as a Chelsea player. As you said, they've confirmed it, the most expensive signing in British transfer history. There's a sign-up over there just detailing that next fixture, that big West London derby on Friday night. And, of course, it was just a few weeks ago that they played at Craven Cottage and Fulham got the better of Chelsea on that occasion. I think I'm about to be run down by a truck here, so just bear with me 1 second. The wonders of live television. There you go. Nice advert for a certain parcel service, courier delivery service. There we go. He's off. think I might be about to get mowed down any second again. Anyway, Enzo Fernandez, let's get back to him. That'll be a question for Graham Potter when he faces the media later this week as to whether Enzo Fernandez does play in that big Friday night West London derby, because the only issue is that he won't have that much time with the Chelsea squad. He is still, as things stand, in Lisbon. He'll be taking off around about any moment now, to be honest, landing at an airfield in Surrey in a couple of hours' time, around about 3:30, at which point we imagine he'll be whisked to Chelsea's training ground to do all the in-house media, the interview saying how delighted he is to join the club, the photos posing with the shirt, all that kind of business, before he meets Graham Potter, meets perhaps the rest of the squad, but he'll only get one training session, and that'll be tomorrow before that Friday night match. So will Graham Potter deem him ready to be thrown straight into the fiery atmosphere of a West London derby at Stamford Bridge? I don't know. That will be a question for the Chelsea boss when we speak to him tomorrow. But certainly Enzo Fernandez is a Chelsea player, the most expensive transfer in British transfer history, £106.5 million, a staggering amount of money for a player who only left River Plate to join Benfica 6 months ago. But the Chelsea fans, I'm sure, are delighted with the business that they've done in this month of January, a whopping amount of money spent. And for Graham Potter, the trying to keep all those players happy, that business starts now.
Other brands of delivery van are available to try and knock you down, Jamie. But while you're still standing, let's talk about Ziyech's deadline move to PSG, not ratified after a late submission of documents from Chelsea. If this is the full story, it doesn't sound very clever.
It's one of those just staggering transfer deadline day stories, isn't it? It has a touch of the Peter Odemwingies about it, but in this case, Hakim Ziyech was, in his eyes, ready to join Paris Saint-Germain. He was in Paris, he still is in Paris, and you used that word at the top of the show there, incandescent. He is incandescent that Chelsea did not hold up their end of the bargain. He was in Paris from lunchtime yesterday. He was texting Todd Boehly saying, look, get this done, I want to get this over the line. Paris Saint-Germain were phoning Chelsea, getting no answer, phoning them again. Chelsea were sending the wrong forms through, and eventually 11 o'clock came and went, and Hakim Ziyech was not registered in time. So he is, as things stand, still stranded in Paris. He will presumably be making his way back to London at some point. But some of the quotes from my colleague Cave Solikol that we've been running today, PSG are not happy. They've been saying last night was an absolute shambles. Chelsea will not darken PSG's doorstep ever again. This is not how you do business or treat a player. And look, a lot of people have been quick to point out in January that it's been very clever, some of the business that Chelsea have done, but a lot of people have also said it's been pretty scattergun and pretty shambolic, and this instance with Hakim Ziyech certainly seems pretty shambolic.
It does, and Carve Solikol with us in the next hour or so to give us the full inside story, which he seems to have uncovered. In the meantime, the question is, what happens to Ziyech now, Jamie?
Yeah, what indeed? I mean, does he still feature in Graham Potter's plans for the next 4 months? And if he does, Graham Potter has a job in his hand to give the old proverbial arm around the shoulder and make him feel as if he's part of the squad again. Because from Ziyech's point of view, he was ready to join Paris Saint-Germain, and he is absolutely furious that he wasn't allowed to because Chelsea didn't get the paperwork done in time and weren't answering the phone. So look, does he still feature in Graham Potter's squad for the next 4 months? If he does, the manager has a job in his hand making him feel part of that squad. They've got 33 players now in that squad, Chelsea, and all Premier League squads have to submit their squad of 25 to the Premier League by tonight. Now, that's not quite the full story because under 21 players count above and beyond.